I would like us to start with the launch with a land acknowledgement by Alex McComber. So let me say a few things about Alex. So Alex is Bertlan Kanyenka Ahaka. I practiced last night. I'm so sorry.
You got it. That's good.
From Kanawake territory, husband, father, and grandfather. He has been associated with the Kanawake School Diabetes Prevention and Program since 1994 as a community health activist and researcher bringing indigenous ways of doing and knowing diabetes prevention, health promotion, and community mobilization. He's a professor at McGill University Department of Family Medicine with a focus on cultural safety in education, practice, and research, and indigenous patient participation in health research. Alex, I welcome you to do the land acknowledgement.
Sego zo goego wat konuarado utse dogo yujits rakskarewage rodinosuni kanyakahaga kanawage niduageno. Kind of repeated what she just said in my language because that's how we do things. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm honored to be part of the ceremony today for this very, very important lab that's been developed with lots of important things for it to be doing. On behalf of the people from Ganawage and from Ganasadage, on behalf of our ancestors, I'm very honored to welcome you to Jutjage. This is what we call the territory of this island of Montreal. It's part of Ganyange, the land of the flint, of which I'm a member, and you're sitting on our territory. We welcome you here. We trust that your stay here on our lands is a good one, has been a good one, that the old ones and spirits and Mother Earth takes care of you in that good way. And what we ask in return is that you take care of Mother Earth and all that life supporters and the waters and all our relatives and each other in that good way as we've been instructed as our role and responsibilities as human beings, as the two-leggeds. So I welcome you here to the territory today. I've also been invited when I hear to come and bring an opening, to bring a land acknowledgement. What we do as the people of the Longhouse and as the Ganyankahaga is bringing the words that come before all else. And I'll give you a loose summary translation of that right now, and then I'm going to say it in the language. And I got my timer here, so I won't go till 10:30 like I usually do. Yeah. So the words that come before all else is what we learn to say when we open our eyes in the morning, when we begin our day. And so when we have our ceremonies and when we have our gatherings and meetings in our traditional settings, we say these words. And so in contemporary times now, as we've been invited to participate in your culture and your nation's ceremonies and events and activities, and we've been invited to bring opening words and acknowledgements, this is how we do it. This is our land acknowledgement. And what this is addressing all life in the sacred circle of which we as the two-leggeds are privileged to be part of. So I'm going to address the people, then I'm going to address Mother Earth and the waters and greet them and thank her for giving us our home and loving us unconditionally, because that's what she does. We're going to address the life supporters, everything that grows on Mother Earth, everything that provides us with nourishment, with home, with heat, but also to our relatives. We're going to address them and acknowledge what they do and thank them for the medicine, the work, the responsibilities that they carry. Then we're going to address our relatives with whom we're honored to share the earth, the insects, the fish, the four-leggeds, the birds. And we're going to acknowledge them and recognize them for the roles that they carry out, and also thank them that they have taught us, they've taught our ancestors how to relate with the land and how to respect the land and how to live in the land in a good way. And then we're going to turn our attention to our sky world relations, our grandfathers, the thunders who carry those big sticks, and when things are unsettled on the land, they bang that down, and that spark and that noise brings a peace back to the land. We're going to address our grandfathers, the winds that come from the four directions and the messages that they bring, personal messages, daily messages, seasonal messages for the people. We're going to thank them that they do that. We're going to acknowledge our elder brother, the sun. He rose again. He rose again in the east. He brought lightness in that dark on this cold day, warm us up a little bit too. And he's going to cross over the sky and remind us we've got our responsibilities too that we're supposed to carry out. So he reminds us to do that. And we're going to address our grandmother. She's in our night sky, who watches over that dark side, that dark time when we really can't see well. And she reminds us that we love all our grandchildren unconditionally. Those of us who are grandparents, some of you, you'll find out. And also she works with the women in the waters, and we acknowledge her for that, to keep the life cycles going. We're going to give an acknowledgement to the stars and to the worlds and peoples that live in those star places, because that's where we come from in our creation story. We come from Sky World. So we acknowledge our relations out there. And we also acknowledge our ancestors, those that have crossed into spirit world, recent relatives and old relatives and ancient relatives, and acknowledge them and thank them that everything they've done have provided for us today to all be here today. And everything that they've done in their life has affected us, impacted us in a good way. And now we're going to turn our attention to Creator, creation, the great mystery. Whatever it is that we acknowledge is that greater force that has caused all of this to be. And also to thank Creator for our own life, for our own world and role and journey. And so that's Kliya Honda Giri Wadekwa. And so as I'm going through it, picture those images, picture those lives, picture that individuality and the uniqueness of all of that, because that's what we're very privileged to be part of. And if any of those things leave that sacred circle, the circle will come undone. If the two-leggeds leave that circle, nothing's going to happen in that circle. It's going to stay the same. Gives us very good pause to be humble and to think about who we are and our reality and our humanity, and how when we see all that nature working together in that way to create perfect world and society, that's the teachings that they gave us, that our ancestors practiced and did up until the time of the invasion that came here. But all of us come from those same roots of ancestry that's connected with the land. And this is about going back to that land, because the very important work that you've all done here to create this lab is very timely. We know what's coming. We know that COVID was just a little teaser test of things that are coming in the world today. Mother Earth talks to us every single day. You just have to look around. You have to see what's going on there. Never mind the beings and the politics. Look at the Earth and what she's doing, what she's telling us. She's healing. She's preparing. Things are changing. We've impacted on that for sure. But now we have to be ready to reap what we've sown collectively as human beings. And doing this in a good way. Bringing that good mind, that skana, that peace, that ganarungwatsara, the great love that binds us all together. Bringing all that to the forefront in the work that you're going to all be doing with this lab to contribute to keeping the society well and healthy, so that 7 generations of your grandchildren and my grandchildren will have a world that's there, that's wrapped in that great peace, that's wrapped in that good minds, and of the people working together. Because that's where we're leading to, but giving birth is a difficult process. So I've been told. I don't remember it. So when she's going to go to West, and they got the seed in Uarad and some guy at this, they wahia guego rosa anyu zino hold de doan neji honzade. The Etunuarado ne ongweson us, gonna go us our guego, nyoko, and gonna quatsara sawa guego, to Gadione got Nagora. Te tunuarado ne yeti nista hajo henzade dana gani gurunyo. Te tunuarado ne yeti sotogara di wera saneka yeri ne gawarage. Skana go, gana quatsara dana nyao go, to Gadi when it got Nagora. Te tunuarado ne odere su and dana ohum de su, and te tunuarado ne anunqua su, and jahekwa dana gai su. Te tunuarado ne gurunta su and dana ogore su. Skana wata, skana ya ungo un, skana osahedo, honestly dana uno uzera, skana yon dessa sa wagwego. Nyao go, gana quatsara dana nyao go sa wagwego, to Gadi when it got Nagora. Te tunuarado ne ozino wasu, and te tunuarado ne gandirio, te tunuarado ne gazusu, and dana ozidangu. Skana go, skana agwek, skana oskanodo, skana ogwari ogwaha dana atnora, skana dagwa asa. Skana distigriago, dana ozino wasu. Nyao go, gana quatsara sa wagwego, to Gadi when it got Nagora. Te tunuarado ne songochia joka ne kagarakwa, te tunuarado ne tisoto asanta kagarakwa. Te tunuarado ne Jesus te gurunyo ne garo nyage, skana goa sa wagwego nyao goa gano quatsara, to Gadi one got Nagora. Te tunuara no dewa da dega. All our relations. Skana goa sa waguego, nyao goa dana gana no kwatsara sa waguego, togari when he got nugora. Ti dunuara dana songoya tisu, jata tisu, skana goa dana nyao goa. Kana nukwa sa waguego, kanchokwa skana, dana nyao goa dana to. And so with that, your gathering is open today. For the day, and that your minds are going to come together and to have a good sharing with each other, have that good relationship with each other, and listen and engage in those conversations, and look ahead at the positives that comes from all this of your, not only what you're going to hear today, but also the interactions with each other. Enjoy it. Make it a beautiful day for yourself and for everybody else that's here. Go for the opportunity to come and share these opening words with you. I wish you the best, not only in your opening today, but in this very, very important work that you're going to be doing in the times to come. Now, Goa. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you so much, Alex. It's very, very moving. Before I get and go further, I would like to, we do that. So to read you the code of conduct for the day. How's that? So, we strive to create an inclusive and respectful environment for all attendees. By attending this event, you agree to be respectful in communication with presenter, panelists, and other attendees, and to refrain from acting in any manner which the organizer determined in their sole and reasonable judgment to be disruptive or inappropriate. Diverse perspective and discussion are integral to academic discourse and can contribute to a richer understanding of very complex issues. That's easy. I count on you. All right. Okay. Few housekeeping stuff. There's a Wi-Fi. You can go look for the McGill guests, and you can get a 24 access link. There's emergency exit, and they're signed by the red light. Washroom are at the entrance, and this is where as well that you're going to find the AED, the automatic external defibrillator, in case. Never know. Got to know to do that. You can ask your question in the language of your comfort. Can be French, can be English, and few of us understand Spanish. Paul does, so we're good. There's a QR code for the program. We tried to save some paper, so you can go and download that and then read as well the extensive bio of all of our guests. And for each session, we're going to have a Mentimeter. So, so get your phone ready because we're going to ask you a question before, and we would like to find out that by listening to either one of the speakers or to a panel, did it change your mind on the issue? So that's it. No more for me, and I will invite Robert Platt, our director of the School of Population and Global Health, to say a short remark.
Thanks, Joanne. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the School of Population and Global Health and of the Faculty of Medicine and Health Sciences here at McGill, I want to welcome you to this exciting launch of the Pandemics and Emergencies Resilience Lab. Dean Fellows couldn't be here today, but she sends her regards and she shares my excitement about PERL. At the School of Population and Global Health, we have a strong commitment to population health. Today, that commitment necessarily includes responding to pandemics, to armed conflict, to humanitarian crises, and to the spread of disinformation, forces that are increasingly shaping health risks across the world. These challenges are no longer episodic, but chronic. They're persistent, interconnected, and global. They now directly affect health systems, they affect surveillance capacity, and they affect our ability to respond quickly and equitably. Our school's investment in PERL reflects this reality. PERL will allow us to continue and strengthen our work in emergencies, including infectious diseases and climate, but also research methods development at a time when many surveillance systems globally are being defunded or going dark. This moment also calls for leadership from Canada. We must continue to invest in surveillance and preparedness at home while contributing to global efforts to detect, understand, and respond to emerging threats that don't respect borders. I want to express our sincere gratitude to Marcel Arsenault for his vision and generosity in supporting PERL. His support is what makes PERL possible. Special thanks as well to the Pax Sapiens team, including Connor Sale, for their support and encouragement to PERL. We're also grateful to University Advancement for working closely with us to help secure and steward this important investment. Looking forward, we hope that this is the first of many. We hope to continue to grow PERL. We look forward to partnering with additional donors and collaborators who share a commitment to rigorous evidence, policy relevance, and real-world impact in complex global health crises so that we can all be better prepared for emergencies right here in Canada and globally. PERL's mission is clear: to bring science, leadership, and convening together, and to generate high-quality, actionable evidence on emergencies, and to ensure that this evidence informs decision-making where it matters the most. We're truly delighted that Drs. Joanne Liu and Prativa Baral are leading PERL. Joanne brings exceptional global and humanitarian experience, and Prativa is an emerging leader in the field. Together, they've already assembled a strong, multidisciplinary team. PERL is, at its core, a collective and collaborative effort. Thanks for joining us today. I look forward to hearing from our distinguished speakers and to the future of PERL.
Thank you so much, Robert, for your kind word. I would like to invite on the stage Madhukar Pai, the Director of the Department of Global and Public Health. Madhu.
Bonjour, bienvenue. I echo Robert's welcome. We're delighted to launch PERL today and welcoming you all to the school. What do we say about launching something focused on pandemics, conflicts, emergencies in this crazy period that we're living through? Every day seems worse than the previous. We wake up with existential dread on what new fresh hell has been unleashed on the world. Prime Minister Mark Carney, of all people, I didn't expect him to do anything like what he did at Davos, but he called this moment a rupture. So why the heck are we doing this in a period of such existential threats and ruptures? You can either say this was strategically inspired and brilliant to do it at this moment in history, or you can say this is complete madness. As mad as Frodo and Sam standing outside Mordor, jumping into it knowing what armies of Sauron are waiting there. As mad as Ron, Hermione, and Harry wanting to go after every last Horcrux. As mad as Elle and Will and Max going after Vecna. This is absolute insanity. But herein lies the beauty of it. I would also like to think, in addition to being brilliant, inspired, and mad, there is a third element of it that makes us relevant. I genuinely see that just existing, being in the room, talking about things like pandemics, equity, global solidarity, social justice is an act of resistance. And I'm convinced that the world needs more and more of us to resist what is happening in the world outside. And that resistance can come in various shapes, sizes, and forms. Some of our speakers are writing books about it. Some of them are speaking about it. Some of them are doing scholarly research about it. Some of them are writing in the Globe and Mail. It doesn't matter what we do. We just continue to resist. And that's what, to me, is the biggest hope for a lab like PERL in this crazy moment that we find ourselves in. In the last month, I have given 3 large global health lectures, hundreds of young people in the room. Every lecture begins with a Menti word cloud. I ask them a simple question: tell me, what is your take on the current state of the world? I wish I could show you those 3 word clouds. I'm just absolutely shattered by what the young people are saying consistently across 3 completely independent courses. The top 3 words would be anxious, stressed, disgusted, embarrassed. These are young people who are fully aware of the state of the world and still coming to a class on global health or international development. And I begin by telling them, regardless of what the state of the world is, their mere presence in the course is an act of resistance. Because they have signaled the whole world that we do believe in something called global or international. We are global citizens. We care about global solidarity. And that is flying in the face of everything our leaders and nations are doing right now. So I want to congratulate Prativa and Joanne for this courageous effort. And I want to reassure them that they're not alone. This amazing galaxy of speakers today is an indication that any number of people are willing to stand shoulder to shoulder and fight for equity and justice, even if our leaders are going exactly in the opposite direction. Thank you and congratulations.
Okay, so we're going to say a few words on PERL. So to stay on the same spirit of Madhu, who would have thought 14 months ago that we will have a record number of conflicts in the world since the World War II? Who would have thought 14 months ago that the aid sector would have been cut by about 40%? Who would have thought 14 months ago that Canada would be in tension with the three powers of this planet? And then let's put some public health in there. Who would have thought 14 months ago that we'd still be negotiating a pandemic treaty? It was for humor. All right, okay, so PERL. PERL is a lab who is trying to imagine the unimaginable in order to be better prepared, to assess better the crisis. It brings together what I call the mindset of the practitioner in the field and the wealth of academia together. That's what we're going to try to do with you. Next slide. So, as we said, we face multiple crises over and over again. And then somehow, it's become a millefeuille of crises. And then they all feed into what I call a pending complex global health emergency. Next slide. And so crisis doesn't come in isolation on their own. They fuel each other. They are interconnected. They create systemic vulnerabilities. And they accelerate each other. So, next slide. I'm trying to catch up on time. So, but we're apparently good.
We're good.
We're good. All right, okay. Prativa is always there to tell me if I'm good or not. So, but why now PERL? Because, damn it, we're in trouble. Science is under attack. Our policy is diluted. And data is being fragmented. We believe in PERL, that we're going to create a unit that can prep, assess risk, and fight back the spiral of vulnerability. Next slide. So Prativa and I put a team together, and we have a keen bunch of young investigators. The senior one are Miranda and Vesna, and the junior one are Bianca, Al, Zida, Trevor, and Keith. Over to you.
So our mission, as Joanne said, is really to look at both global and local readiness with regards to all hazard crises. And we're hoping to do that in a couple of different ways. So there's three big streams to PERL. The first is advancing actionable research, and we have a couple of streams under that. The next is promoting crisis-ready leadership, and part of that is a fellow program that our senior investigators are part of, in order for PERL to develop a pipeline of researchers who are ready to lead during crises. And the third piece is building partnerships and opportunities for convening. Whether we like them or not, we're all going to be affected by emergencies. And we wanted to create a space here at PERL where people and teams across sectors and disciplines can come together to talk approaches, solutions, and strategies to different types of risks. And so across all of these three segments or pillars that make up PERL, the big picture here that we're trying to do is to assess risk and improve responses across disciplines, sectors, and borders. So what do we work on? Our interconnected research streams, we have 5 of them. The first is looking at, and across all of them, we're really valuing the fact that emergencies are all of society, all hazard risks. So our 5 pillars are designed to touch on the various aspects of this. So the first is pandemic prevention and risk anticipation, looking at things like drivers of outbreaks, both on the upstream side and on the downstream side. We're also looking at crisis infrastructure, thinking through models and frameworks to strengthen preparedness and response systems. On the data side, we're looking at how do we measure and monitor crises, what do early warning systems look like. On the equity and community resilience side, we're looking into structural and social vulnerabilities that shape crises. And then, of course, you can have all of the science in the world, but if you don't have trust or compliance, we're in big trouble. So our 5th pillar is looking at trust, communication, and crisis leadership, thinking through strategies to build trust, to think about acceptance of public health measures and others, and combat misinformation. And so our work, as Joanne mentioned, is really designed to bridge academia and practice, to translate evidence into real-world policy and practice, especially in this post-COVID chaotic era. Here are some of our projects in action. I won't go through all of them, but I just wanted to highlight a couple that we're particularly excited about. I mean, we're excited about all of them, but 3 that I'll highlight right now. The first one is looking at One Health assessment of zoonotic risk along rodent trade pathways, so thinking through the earlier stages of a potential pandemic. The next that we're really excited about is a civilian reserve. So as we know, when there's an emergency, we often tend to rely on the military. Instead of as a last resort, we tend to rely on them often as a first resort. So we're trying to see if there are better models of civilian approaches that can help this build this surge capacity so that we can be better ready for the next crisis. And then the third that I'll highlight just for today is under the trust, communications, and crisis leaderships. We're really trying to understand mis and disinformation and emergency health information networks. It's one of the biggest threats to our capacities to respond to crises. And so we're really, really excited about this project as well. And we, of course, welcome the opportunities to collaborate with additional projects, or if you're interested in any of that, we'd be happy to chat more.
So, yes, we want to thank again our donor, Marcel Arsenault and his wife, Cinda Collins-Arsenault, and the Pax Sapien. And that's it. Prepare with us. Brainstorm with us, partner with us, talk with us. We're ready. Thank you very much.
Here is the agenda for today. We have created a QR code, so you're welcome to click on that and it'll take you to our program. All of our experts who've joined us today are incredible and we're delighted to have them here. We will not do their biographies justice, but their full biographies are listed in the program, so please do take a look. So we're going to start with the keynote shortly. We have 3 panels and we hope you stick around. It should be a really, really interesting discussion throughout the day. Thanks.